back here in Houston. A visit with President Bush, hearing it from the crowd here at Reliance Stadium. Just tossed the coin in the air. And it's the Texans who win the toss. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, rest of our CBS crew with you today in Texas. Houston at 6-1. The Bills 3-4. 35-34 loss to Tennessee week 7 before the bye week. Frustrating defeat for Buffalo. Could have put Chan Gailey and company over the 500 mark and really changed the whole tenor of the bye week, which became a time of evaluation mostly for the defense. That is where the struggles have come for this Buffalo squad. And defensive coordinator Dave Wanstead. Meanwhile, for Houston, hit the bye week with a 43-13 win over Baltimore. Franchise record for points. Best record in franchise history through 7 games. And Gary Kubiak's squad has got it going. Maybe the most balanced team in the NFL right now.
Well, without any apparent weaknesses, they also did a bunch of self-scouting during the bye week. A little bit more difficult for them to find things to improve on. Kubiak very happy with the way things are going, especially the way they bounced back from that horrible defeat to the Packers here at Reliance Stadium.
And that's their only loss of the season, 42-24 blowout loss to Green Bay. Houston wins the toss. Ryan Lindell just pooches it up in the air. Houston will fall on it at the 25-yard line. Lindell getting crafty and not giving the Texans an opportunity to break off a long return. So that's where Houston will open up, as Shiloh Keough was there to cover it up. So for the Houston Texans, it's Matt Schaub leading this offense. He has not made many mistakes this season.
He said that all we have to do is, quote, just play our game, get the ball out of his hands quickly, always know where number 94, Mario Williams, is lined up.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line, going against Mario Williams and this Buffalo defense. Handoff. Foster cuts it to the outside. This Buffalo defense ranked dead last in the NFL, defending the run. Wade Smith with a good block out on that left side to spring him for 10 yards. Derek Newton, the young offensive lineman, has the challenge today to match up with the emotional Mario Williams going against his former team. Backs and receivers. Arian Foster, 98 yards and 2 touchdowns against Baltimore. He leads the NFL in carries per game, 24. And touchdowns rushing, 9 of them this season. More Foster on a first down run. And brought down very quickly as Foster could not break free of Kelvin Shepard. And a gain of about a half a yard on the play. Mario Williams, just 3.5 sacks this season for Buffalo. Signed that huge contract during the offseason, $96 million, $50 million guaranteed. Houston just couldn't pony up that kind of money and maintain the salary cap. Bradham, the rookie, getting the start out of Florida State at the outside linebacker spot. And in the secondary, George Wilson, he's emerged as a leader in this group, but they've got to do a better job buttoning things up in that secondary. Up the middle for Arian Foster, hit by Williams and Shepard. And a 5-yard gain as Foster was low to the ground for the pickup.
You can see that they're going to concentrate on the running attack as Mario Williams gets booed after making that tackle. He doesn't care about that, but he does care about the fact that the Bills are last in the NFL, giving up 6 yards a rush to their opponent.
No Ben Tate, not available because of a hamstring injury, so Justin Forsett is the backup to Foster. Empty backfield, they call it a 3rd and 4. Working out of the gun. Schaub to throw, floats one, incomplete. Owen Daniels got his hand on it. The Buffalo defense holds. Aaron Williams was over there with a potential opportunity to come up with a pick. It's 4th down.
Now this is the premier matchup right here. Here's Mario Williams. Watch the job that Derek Newton does on Williams. He's going to take his legs out right there. That nullifies the pass rush. Schaub with time to throw, just couldn't find Daniels over the middle.
Donnie Jones averaging just under 47 yards per punt. And Leotis McKelvin leads the NFL in punt return average, 24 yards per return. And a fair catch called for, flag down as it's caught inside the 10, a 49-yard punt. And the penalty marker on the field will get the word on that from Bill Vinovich, our referee today. What a tremendous story. Vinovich back on the field, had aortic replacement surgery. His first year back on the field since '07. He had been working as a supervisor last few years. Now in his 5th season as an NFL referee. As he sorts things out. Looking over at the Buffalo sideline.
Player downs. Re-kick. 4th down.
Well, they're going to re-kick, and we're going to try to get Bill a better mic.
The choice there was to take it and add 5 to after the punt was caught, but this is a good decision by Chan Gailey to make the Texans kick again, because that was a fine punt. They would have pinned Buffalo deep in their own end of the field.
Yeah, ball was caught at the 9-yard line, so Houston will do it again with Donnie Jones. Houston 3-7 all time coming off the bye week. Texans had 5 days off. Chance to recharge their batteries and get back to business, focusing in on Buffalo.
And one of the reasons that Chan Gailey wants Houston to punt one more time is because of that man deep, Leotis McKelvin. Averaging 24 yards per punt return. Another false start against the Texans. A lack of concentration here on the special teams.
So a little shaky to open things up here for Houston. Bills have some smiles right now with McKelvin chomping at the bit. Joe Marciano, special teams coach of the Houston Texans. Rude, the guilty party for Houston. 4th and 14 now. McKelvin will move up to the 20-yard line. Has an 88-yard return for a touchdown this season off a punt. And now fans getting antsy. This is not what Gary Kubiak envisioned starting off the quote-unquote second half of the season after the bye week.
It's not uncommon for these type of errors after a bye week. Lack of focus here.
The first thing Gary Kubiak told us when we sat down with him, he said, you worry about not being sharp coming out of the bye. Jones, high punt. McKelvin settles in. Returnable. Breaks a tackle. McKelvin falls forward just short of the 28. John Weeks, the snapper, first man down the field after the 50-yard pump. We'll see the Buffalo offense on the field when we come back to Houston.
Back in Houston, Texan fans thought that Leotis McKelvin may have signaled for a fair catch here. Kind of half-hearted with that right hand. Never got it up. The official said no fair catch, and he got a good return out to the 27-yard line.
And that's where Buffalo will open up, dealing with the crowd noise here in Houston. Roof is closed today. A little bit of rain earlier this morning. Bills open up 1st and 10 at the 27 with a spread formation and Fitzpatrick out of the gun. Fitzpatrick knocked down. Living up to the scouting report, Sean Cody says,
Right in the middle, Sean Cody, the nose tackle. That's 22 passes defense by the Titans right here. Watch the left hand there of Cody. Cody not the tallest, but he had his eyes on the quarterback. Did not get much of a pass rush, but that's okay. A great job of recognizing where the quarterback's throwing and getting their hands up to deflect another pass.
Double tight end set with Chandler and Smith. Jackson in the backfield. Smith the motion man on 2nd and 10. Handoff. Jackson runs into a crowd. Sean Cody, first man there for Houston, a 1-yard gain. Ryan Fitzpatrick this season, 15 touchdowns, 9 picks in his 8th year in the NFL.
He told us yesterday he has to avoid those picks. As the Texans score so many points, the Bills have to keep pace, and to do that, they must convert third down situations such as this one and sustain drives.
We asked him about the batted balls. He said he has never seen anything like it. It's been incredible. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. They're so relentless up front. Dime package here for Houston. Play clock is down to 2. From the gun, Fitzpatrick settles in, throws over the middle, and complete. Able to make that connection up the field to Stevie Johnson. And Fitzpatrick and Johnson have certainly developed that chemistry and dynamic over their time together. 14 yards on the pass play.
Now 34 catches now for number 13, working against McLean. You can see a great little juke to the outside, back to the middle. They've got to double team Stevie Johnson, whether he's in the slot or not. He's a go-to receiver for Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick said that Johnson grew up as a basketball player, and he brings a lot of that with him, even on that
you
move.
can see it on that move, absolutely.
The killer crossover. On first down, Jackson, nowhere to go. There's no running lane for Jackson. J.J. Watt helped make sure of it as we check out the starting offense for the Buffalo Bills here today on that offensive line. No Eric Pierce. Pierce sitting this one out with a hip injury, didn't make the trip, so Chris Hairston, who had been starting on the left side, is now at the right. Cordy Glenn returns. Craig Urbick returns. Backs and receivers. Stevie Johnson, playmaking ability. Back-to-back 1,000-yard season. Signed that 5-year, $36 million contract to remain in Buffalo. 2nd and 11 now for the Bills. Jackson remains in there. You'll see him used in screens a great deal as Fitzpatrick will fire. High throw intended for Johnson, incomplete. Sets up 3rd and long. Defensively for Houston, Antonio Smith, one of the captains of this team. Smith had a couple of sacks in Houston's last game, the win over Baltimore. Connor Barwin had his first sack of the season in that 43-13 victory, part of the linebacking group. And in the secondary, improved play from Kareem Jackson, physical corner. A lot of confidence now in his 3rd year. They're playing without Brian Cushing, done for the season. Tim Dobbins replaces Cushing in the starting lineup. Once again, the play clock winding down. Fitzpatrick, protection holds up. Over the middle. Jackson sheds one tackle and brought down after the 2-yard gain. Catch by Jackson. Barwin bottles him up.
Yeah,
and Buffalo will kick.
3rd and 11 to go. And Texans just rushed 3 pass rushers at Fitzpatrick. So that means they had 8 pairs of eyes playing zone. Could see that short pass, converged on it, kept Jackson way short of the first down.
Sean Powell, one of the biggest punters you will see at 6'4", 243. Keyshawn Martin, the rookie, waiting for it at the 10. Powell averaging 43.5 yards per kick, and that will take a perfect Buffalo roll and settle in inside the 5. Rookie out of Florida State, Sean Powell getting it done. And Houston is pinned deep in its own territory after the 52-yard punt by Powell.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Acura Advance. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Back at Reliance Stadium, no score. Buffalo and Houston, 9:36 mark of this first quarter. Texans with the football, 1st and 10 at their own 4-yard line. On a give to Foster. Tried to cut it to the perimeter, held to no gain on the play. Jarris Byrd read it well for Buffalo. Avoided the block of James Casey and makes the stop for the Bills.
Well, the important thing is for the defensive line to keep their shoulders squared to the line of scrimmage. Here's Byrd. Watch him come up. And the defensive line with Kelsey doing a good job there, pushing Dwayne Brown back into the backfield. That forces Foster wide where Byrd is there for the tackle.
Texans come in number 6 in the NFL in rushing, just under 141 yards per game. 2nd and 10 now for Houston. Schaub to throw it from his own end zone. Lofts it up in the air. Nobody home. So a spotty start so far for the Houston offense and special teams. 3rd and 10 now for the Texans.
Well, here comes Mario Williams taking the inside route on Newton. Another fine job by Derek Newton, changing up the way he wants to protect against the dangerous Williams. Williams playing with a smaller cast on his left wrist. He feels that the surgery he had during the bye week has really helped loosen that wrist up.
3rd and 10 now against the nickel look from Buffalo. We'll go with the running play. A blast up the middle. Arian Foster tripped up. An 11-yard gain for Foster. They'll move the chains.
And that's what Mario Williams told us yesterday, is that sometimes guys are just missing their gaps here, and that's the result that we're getting a lot of big plays against our defense against the run. Whenever your safety has to come up to make the tackle, then you know that linebackers just aren't fitting properly in that defensive scheme.
That's a great example. They get it done on 1st down, on 2nd down, a 3rd down run for Houston, and they convert. New set of downs for the Texans to work with. On 1st down, Shaw. Plenty of time. Long ball. He's got Walter downfield. Penalty marker thrown back at the 7-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to call holding against Forsett.
Offense number 28. After the kick the ball. First down.
There's a safety blitz by George Wilson. Forsett picked him up originally, but Wilson kept coming strong, and Forsett had to reach out and grab him, nullifying a big gain of 31 yards. Here's Forsett. Here's Wilson on the outside. Watch him come. Good job initially by Forsett, but that right hand, he's just grabbing Wilson's jersey and turns him just enough.
So Forsett will sit. Arian Foster returns. Forsett formerly with Seattle and Indianapolis. High praise from Kubiak and Schaub and Foster about Forsett's abilities to step in and replace Ben Tate. At the distance, so 1st and 17. A sling to Andre Johnson. And a flag thrown on the other side of the field as Johnson hauls it in cleanly. He made Jarris Bird miss. 9-yard pickup.
They may get Sean Merriman for being offsides. He's complaining that Dwayne Brown flinched at the line of scrimmage. Let's see what our referee has to say about it. It's going to be against Merriman.
So either they're looking at a 2nd and 8 or a 1st and 12. And Gary Kubiak is going to come over and give his 2 cents.
He's looking for a calculator right now. Is it better to be 2nd and 8? It's a dilemma here. He needs some help from his coaches upstairs. It was a 9-yard play. Speaking of needing a calculator, we need a new microphone too.
NFL Today update. Let's head to New York right now. JB and Boomer.
Ravens on the ground.
Well, Dan Fouts loves a good running game, just like I do. Here comes Ray Rice, 8 yards. On their first drive, Ray Rice carried the ball 6 times for 32 yards.
Did the Beard really like a ground game?
Well, I never really had one.
Oh,
Neither did
okay.
Dan Marino. I did, though.
All right, back to the Bird and the Beard.
What about Chuck Muncie?
Yeah, James Brooks. Little train James. I'd love to hand the ball off. Give me a rest.
1st and 12 now for Houston, so they accept the penalty against the Buffalo Bills. And Shaw, too high, felt the pressure, was trying to swing it to Arian Foster on the outside, and good coverage there. Nigel Bradham was in that area.
Yeah, Bradham, and here's Bradham, but also watch more on this play. He's going to come out and get in the throwing lane as Bradham sees the pass coming. And it's good job by Moore to make that ball go over the head of the intended receiver.
So a 2nd and 12 now for Houston. No flow this first quarter. Texans trying to get something going on offense here. Shaw. Complete. Andre Johnson ducks out of bounds. Just across the marker. 13-yard gain and a first down, working against 2nd-year pro Aaron Williams from Texas.
Well, this is one way to get something going. Go to your best receiver. He's been that for many, many years here. Andre Johnson with another first down catch of 13 yards, and Derek Newton forcing Mario Williams wide, not in time to get to Schaub.
Quick snap. Schaub to Owen Daniels. Bradham brings him down, 7-yard pickup, and things starting to pick up in the passing game for Houston.
Gary Kubiak said that they're really monitoring the number of snaps that Owen Daniels gets in practice and during games, and it's that theory of less is more. He's producing more with less work.
Well, we asked him, compare him to the 08 Daniels that went to the Pro Bowl. He's playing as well now, said Kubiak, than at any point that he's coached him. So they believe he's back completely. Forsett gets a touch. Stacked up on a 2nd and 3. Look at all the white jerseys there. 5 of them to greet the veteran Justin Forsett. 1-yard gain.
Daniels had battled a hamstring problem during the bye week, but coming back from a serious knee injury, and he is the main weapon when the Texans get down to the red zone.
76 straight games now for Daniels with at least 1 catch. Andre Johnson extending his stretch now. 90 straight games with at least a catch. This is the 8th play of the drive, and the Texans are only at the 34-yard line. 3rd and 2. Looking to convert. Shot! Is sacked. Firing through Kyle Moore.
Yeah, Kyle Moore picks up his first NFL sack. Coming out here working against Dwayne Brown. He's got that sprinter stance, gets off quickly. Brown tries to cut him, doesn't get him off his feet. And Moore gets Schaub off his feet. Loss of 8 yards. Big play for Buffalo's defense on 3rd down.
So Donnie Jones back out to punt it. McKelvin standing at the 23. Kick sails to the 16. McKelvin up the field, had his legs taken out from under him by Shiloh Kao. 9-yard return, 57-yard punt. No score. Bills and Texans. In honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $100 to each of its nonprofit partners, the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute and learn more, visit NFL.com/salute. So the Salute to Service game here in Houston, Congressional Medal of Honor recipient Mike Thornton led the Texans onto the field. President George H.W. Bush, former Secretary of State James Baker participated in the coin toss. Happening league-wide today in the NFL. C.J. Spiller tried a juke move up the gut. And the combination of Jared Crick and Tim Dobbins holds him to a 2.5-yard gain. They've got the two-headed running attack of Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller. They bring little different attributes to the field. With Spiller has that home run ability, Jackson can slice it inside.
And they both run the same plays, though. That's what makes it so difficult to defend. There's no change in the offense when either of them are in the game.
We asked Jackson about it. He said, look, CJ and I are both unselfish people. We both want to carry the ball 25 times, but we also want what's best for the team. Stevie Johnson. Good catch out to the 36-yard line as we head back to New York. JB and Boomer.
When you think of the Bears, you think defense and special teams, and right here, Sherrick McManus is going to block the punt. Corey Wooten's going to pick it up. 5 yards, 7-0 Bears. The only ones that have more returns than the Bears are department stores after Christmas, JB.
Hey, they don't mind me doing a double when I say the bird and the beard, do they? All right.
Oh, we'll take it. And so will the Houston defense. They just took C.J. Spiller and brought him down to the ground. J.J. Watt and Earl Mitchell hold Buffalo back on a 3rd and short, and the Bills will punt now, 4th down.
Yeah, it looked like the Bills were a little bit late getting off on the snap there. The quickness up front of Mitchell was enough, playing as a nose tackle there. Did a good job. Spiller had no chance.
4th down for Buffalo. Sean Powell again. Keyshawn Martin standing at the 20-yard line. Martin ranges back from the 15. Hop step to the 23-yard line. 8-yard gain, 50-yard punt. Brad Smith the play on special teams. J.J. Watt, what a season he's put together.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Now more than ever, Droid does. And by E-Trade. Works beautifully.
Not a lot of offense to speak of so far. Buffalo and Houston remain scoreless. 2:36 to go in this first quarter. Houston with 40 yards of offense. Buffalo with 26. Houston takes over at its own 23-yard line. Foster and Casey in the backfield. Bootleg. Shaw sets and throws. On time. Kevin Walter on the receiving end. A first down across the 40-yard line. 18-yard hookup. To get the latest news and analysis from CBS Sports experts, watch Pro Football 360 live weekdays at 3 Eastern or on demand at cbssports.com/ProFootball360. Matt Schaub now 3 of 6 for 39 yards. He's hit on his last 3 passes. Daniels sets up as a receiver. Schaub on a slant. Crushing blow. Andre Johnson hit by Nick Barnett, the former Green Bay Packer.
Really, this hit looked a lot worse than it really was, because as Barnett was taking an aim on Johnson, Johnson kind of slipped and was going down anyway.
They pick up 7 yards through the air. Barnett picked up last year, won a Super Bowl with Green Bay, signed a 3-year, $12 million deal with the Bills. They've spent a lot of money on defense over the last couple of years. Foster, the zigzag, walking the tightrope and a first down. Dwayne Brown getting to the outside with a block for Foster. He just makes it look so easy. 14 yards for Arian Foster.
Yeah, he's as effortless a runner as you'll ever see. Watch the patience here. Gets behind Brown and Casey out in front. Excellent blocks on the perimeter by both those two players. And the gliding, smooth style of Foster gets the ball into Buffalo territory.
Arian Foster gets a rest. Justin Forsett checks in. Gary Kubiak said he'd like to get 25 carries for Foster, 10 for Forsett. Great fake. Schaub, deep ball. Owen Daniels, touchdown Texans. You can't do it any better than that. 39 yards on the hookup.
Just a great design play by Gary Kubiak. It's a throwback to the tight end off the bootleg. And just perfectly executed. The offensive line gave Schaub the time for Daniels to get all the way down the field after the bootleg. Watch Schaub come out. Just keep your eye on Daniels. Lose him for a second, but Schaub doesn't. Catches him at about the 10 and walks into the end zone. 5th touchdown of the season for Owen Daniels.
4 plays, 77 yards. The quick strike ability. It took 2 minutes for Houston to get on the board. Extra point, Shane Graham. 7-0 Texans. You look at the numbers, you expect Houston to run the ball down Buffalo's throat, and it's through the air where the Texans strike first. Number 2 in the NFL in scoring at 30.9 points per game, just behind the New England Patriots. Houston up 7-0. 39-yard touchdown Schaub to Owen Daniels. 36 seconds to go in the first. Shane Graham kicking it off. Just 26% on touchbacks off of kickoffs. That's lowest in the NFL. Leonis McKelvin zigzags out of bounds across the 25-yard line.
Well, the Bills do a good job of covering Andre Johnson and Kevin Walter here. But here's the problem. The linebacker trying to stay with Owen Daniels all the way down the field. He gets caught up in a little bit of traffic here and loses sight of Daniels, and Daniels is gone. Schaub on that drive was a perfect 3 for 3, has hit his last 5 in a row. after a 0 for 3 start, including one pass to Walter that was called back because of penalty. But you won't find a better executed play than that one.
1st and 10 for Buffalo at the 26-yard line. 26 yards of offense so far for the Bills. From the gun, Fitzpatrick. Good hands there. Stevie Johnson with a 9-yard grab. And Johnson slow to get up.
Well, the Bills cannot afford to lose Stevie Johnson. He's got a right leg problem of some type after making that catch. Went right down. Slant route, good catch there, but as he hits the ground, it looks like he made contact with Glover Quinn and may have some type of bruise on that right leg.
Ruvel Martin in to replace him. End of the first quarter here in Houston. 7-0 Texans in front. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47.
As we start the second quarter, good news for Bills fans. Stevie Johnson is shaking off this hit by Glover Quinn. Looked like a knee to the thigh. They're stretching out his quad on the sidelines. He's back in the huddle with the 2nd and short play.
Johnson now in his 5th year in the NFL. Legitimate playmaker, very crafty route runner. 2nd and 1 for Buffalo. Second quarter underway here in Houston. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, and the rest of our CBS crew. C.J. Spiller has got a first down up the middle to the 40-yard line. 5-yard pickup for Buffalo.
That was a read option play called by Chan Gailey that time for his quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick to read the defense. He saw what he liked, handed it to Spiller, and that's one of the better running plays so far today for Buffalo.
Houston, number 1 in the NFL in time of possession this season.
Boy, are they ever.
Buffalo comes in 23rd in that category, just under 29 minutes time of possession per game.
There's the Wildcat with Spiller as the tailback. Fitzpatrick down at the bottom of the screen, and Buffalo calls timeout.
Reaching into the bag of tricks. They don't get a chance to use it, though. Wade Phillips, who's done an outstanding job as the defensive coordinator of the Houston Texans, former head coach of the Buffalo Bills for 3 years. In fact, the last time the Bills made the playoffs, 1999, Wade Phillips was at the helm. 5 receivers set after the timeout. Buffalo has 2 remaining. Houston has dominated second quarters this season. Flags thrown.
You're going to get Antonio Smith for jumping off sides. He really got across there.
Encroachment.
So it will be Antonio Smith, who had quite the Halloween. He's a character.
He's creative.
And he dressed up as a made-up character, Tone Stradamus. Just take it all in, Dan.
Well, the eyebrows are the key here, because when he gets an idea, they move around like antenna.
That was his quote, not yours, right?
I just write it down, man.
1st and 5, Fitzpatrick. A bullet to Donald Jones. 3rd-year wideout from Youngstown State. 7-yard gain, and they'll move the chains for Buffalo.
Yeah, Tone Stradamus is he looks into the future, and he uses a magic 8-ball and a bunch of fortune cookies.
Yeah.
And, of course, his iPhone.
I believe it was red, the robe, but Instagram changed the coloring a bit.
He was a little embarrassed about the pink, I think.
Yeah. 1st and 10 for Buffalo. C.J. Spiller in the backfield. Fitzpatrick. Rush coming. Fitzpatrick gets rid of it. Dump off for Spiller. Spiller out in space. C.J. Spiller down the field for Spiller, and he's not through. Finally brought down inside the 10 by Quinn. He may have stepped out of bounds prior.
Looked like he stepped out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Great play call. The screen. Bills will run 5 to 6 screens today. Watch Spiller come out here after getting around the defensive end. Great pressure. Good job by Fitzpatrick. Now watch the blocking here. One right there by the tight end. That could have been an illegal block on the outside by T.J. Graham. Not called. And Spiller steps out of bounds there at the 19.
That key block from Scott Chandler to create a little extra room for Spiller to get to the outside. 28-yard catch and run. Bootleg. Fitzpatrick steps. Another dump off. This time it's Jackson. Remains on his feet, but they're going to mark him down for a loss on the play of a yard. Tim Dobbins will get credit for the stop for Houston.
Good mobility by Ryan Fitzpatrick on the last two plays to get away from the big pass rush on the screen. And that time he was forced to come to his outlet receiver way too soon, as it was going to be another screen pass. Eric Wood, the center, was out in front of Jackson, but he just couldn't get his feet going in the right direction.
Brad Smith checks in. He'll set up on the outside for Buffalo at the bottom of the screen. 4 receivers set. Fitzpatrick is hit on his last 6 passes. 2nd and 11. Play clock is down to 1. Protection holds up. Fitzpatrick trying to squeeze through that hole. And Connor Barwin made sure that Fitzpatrick couldn't get ahead of steam. It's a loss of 1 on the play.
Well, and the important thing is that Fitzpatrick didn't throw this ball into a tight area and get it picked off. This is a scoring area for the Bills here. The pressure from Barwin, number 98, right here at the top of the screen. That's Fitzpatrick step up into the pocket, which is the right thing to do, but Barwin, who was blocked initially on the outside by Cordy Glenn, reacted quickly. That's just the 9th sack of the season against Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Buffalo's actually had a pretty good percentage in the red zone scoring touchdowns. They just don't get there that often. Again, the play clock down. Fitzpatrick in some trouble, breaks out of it. Fitzpatrick lunges across the 20-yard line. Brooks Reed supplied the heat. It goes down as a 3-yard gain. And a field goal attempt coming up for Buffalo.
Now this is really a hopeless feeling for a quarterback. He knows the pressure's coming as Reed forces him out of the pocket. Now he can't get to the outside because of Barwin, and Reed comes back in to make the tackle. Heck of an effort by Brooks Reed.
Ryan Lindell has 5 field goal attempts this season. This is the 8th game of the year for the Buffalo Bills.
That's to your point. They just don't get down here very often, do they?
37-yard attempt. Powell will hold it. And he missed it. Sprayed it to the right. Ryan Lindell. Bills have nothing to show after the C.J. Spiller catch and run to put them in a position to score.
And he just pushes it right. Didn't really follow through. Kind of just punched it. And the ball never came anywhere near the uprights.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by 1&1 My Website, where creating a business website is easy. New York Life Insurance Company. And by Volkswagen. It's not the miles, it's how you live them.
Help the victims of disasters like Hurricane Sandy. Text Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. CBS Cares. Ball at the 27-yard line after the missed field goal attempt. Working the outside, Andre Johnson. A little shake and make move by Johnson to fake out Williams for a 13-yard pickup. And a first down for Houston.
I would think any time that Schaub sees single coverage on the outside between Johnson and the second-year pro Aaron Williams, he's going to take it, bump and run, but watch as Williams bails out. Nice little veteran push-off there by Andre Johnson. Gets him the completion and a first down.
Matt Schaub is now connected on his last 6 attempts. Equipment change there for Andre Johnson. Foster. Arian Foster. His ability to wait, show patience, and then hit the hole is unmatched in this league. That's 21 yards.
He just works in concert with his offensive line so well. Here's that patience, and then the explosion. Sees the gap. Everybody working. Antoine Caldwell there with a great job of staying with his man on the outside. He takes care of Kelvin Shepard, and it's a 21-yard gain for Foster.
And very quickly, Houston is in Buffalo territory inside the 40. 62 yards on the ground for Foster.
We got a false start here against the Texans.
Play whistle dead. It was a pitch to Forsett.
Ball start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And that's Antoine Caldwell, who rotates with Ben Jones on the right side of that line.
Foster now has 7 rushes for 62 yards. Had quite an honor bestowed upon him during the bye week. Went back to San Diego, his high school, Mission Bay High School. The mighty Buccaneers retired his jersey, number 2. Showed him a lot of love, he said.
Yeah, he really was taken by it. His face lit up when we mentioned it in the meetings and was humbled by it. Shaw, play fake. He's got Casey, middle of the field. Max Shaw with a strike. 25 yards on the pass play.
Well, Shaw is heating it up, as you talked about, Ian. Now 7 of 7. His last throw perfectly down the middle. But this is not going to hold up for the Buffalo Bills. You've got Kelsey trying to stay with a tight end. Kelsey was on his pass rush. Saw Casey come down the field, dropped off, and was beaten badly.
Just short of the 20-yard line. First down for Houston. We come up on 8 minutes to go in this first half. Some trickery. Keyshawn Martin on the end around and only picks up a yard in the process. Jarris Byrd making the play for Buffalo.
And again, it's big plays that are continue to hurt this Buffalo defense. You saw the long run by Foster, 21 yards, and then Casey on the very next play gets loose down the middle for a 25-yard gain. And right now the Texans operating as these fans are used to seeing them operate. Very efficient on offense.
Dave Wanstead, he has not blitzed a whole lot this season. About 10% of the defensive snaps have been called blitzes for Buffalo. 2nd and 9 now for Houston. 176 total yards for Houston on offense. Schaub is sacked, and guess who? Mario Williams. The former Texan getting to the quarterback. Flag is thrown at the 24-yard line. Well, lip reading, that would be Dwayne Brown.
Just a matter of time before Mario gets to the quarterback. Derek Newton had been doing a pretty good job on him, but look at Newton reach to the outside there. Not sure why he did that, because Williams was lined up on his inside shoulder. Williams has a clear path to Schaub, and down he goes.
We asked Mario Williams about coming back here. He said the strangest thing will be just coming out of the visitors' locker room. I don't even know what it looks like. And a flag thrown on the far side. Buffalo pointing in Houston's direction.
Start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty.
And that's Derek Newton called on the penalty. Mario Williams, number 1 overall pick with the owner, Mr. McNair, back in 2002 with the Texans. 53 sacks, a franchise record 14 in 2007. Went to the Pro Bowl in 08 and 09. Williams has come out and said he wanted to stay in Houston, but ultimately they could not make the numbers work, and he got blown away by a deal with the Buffalo Bills. $96 million, $50 million guaranteed. Schaub, incomplete. Tried to hit Kevin Walter. And Justin Rogers, back there, second-year pro out of Richmond, 7th-round draft pick, making the play for Buffalo.
Well, a couple of good plays by the Buffalo defense. A sack by Williams, and then Houston helps him out with the offsides penalty, and then tight coverage in the secondary. That'll bring up a field goal try for Houston.
And Mario Williams getting congratulations from his teammates. They know how much emotion is involved coming back to your former home. 15 tickets for friends and family, and some others that are friends with Mario that made their way into the stadium here today. Blocked! Shane Graham from 46 yards away did not get it off cleanly. And the Buffalo Bills special teams with Alex Carrington comes up big. 6:22 remaining in this first half. Buffalo hanging tough against Houston. Alex Carrington with the block on the field goal attempt by Shane Graham for Houston.
And Carrington got a hand. Actually, he's going to get 2 hands. Watch the push by number 55 here, Kelvin Shepard. He's going to push Carrington in the gap there inside of Derek Newton. And just that enough, get his right hand on the ball. Well-designed special teams play. Keeps this field goal from happening.
So Buffalo takes over at the 36-yard line. Trailing Houston 7-0, just over 6 minutes to go in this first half. Jones, the motion man. Jackson in the backfield. Jackson finds a lane and takes it to the outside. Nice maneuver by Fred Jackson, working the left side. Cordy Glenn and Andy Levitri creating an opening for Jackson.
His 13-yard gain equals Jackson's longest run of the season, and he shows great patience and a good, strong cut to the outside. Glover Quinn will fight off that stiff arm, but ball all the way out to the 49-yard line for Buffalo. Important that they get some points out of this drive.
Fred Jackson, Fort Worth, Texas native, 17 tickets for this one for friends and family. Spiller has the big catch for 28 yards. Fitzpatrick underneath. Doran Dickerson getting involved. Just 2 catches on the season. Dickerson, formerly of the Houston Texans. It covers 14 yards and an injured Brady James on the play. One of the leaders on defense, linebacker that came over from Dallas, familiarity with Wade Phillips' system, and he's banged up.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by KFC. Come in today and taste why fresh is better.
Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report, JB and Company, the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. President Bush in attendance. Former First Lady Barbara Bush also here at Reliant Stadium. Big fans of the Houston Texans. Barrett Ruud is in for Brady James, who was able to walk off the field on his own power. Play fake. Fitzpatrick, high throw. It's handled out along the sideline. Great grab there by Jones, working against the Pro Bowler Jonathan Joseph. That covers 14 yards. And Joseph grabbing at his right wrist.
Yeah, great job on the bootleg, taking advantage of the athletic ability of Stevie Johnson. Looked like Joseph may have come down on his wrist. But that ball perfectly thrown, and Joseph in a lot of pain.
So Joseph is out. Bryce McCain is in. Second catch of the day for Donald Jones. Just inside the 25-yard line. Running play. Jackson spinning and falls across the 20. Glover Quinn, first man to hit him. And gets 4 yards on the carry. Jonathan Joseph was a major difference maker for this Houston team last year. Lockdown corner, came over as a free agent from Cincinnati, signed a 5-year, $49 million deal, and they're working on the right hand of Joseph, the right wrist.
Texans come in with extra defensive backs, but it hurts when one of your best is on the sideline. And Buffalo, confusion with the play call in the huddle forces them to use their second timeout.
Play clock was winding down. Bills would not have had enough time to get that play off cleanly. Timeout call by Chan Gailey. It's a 2nd and 6 when we come back. Tomorrow, Barney has a new wingman. Has a new How I Met Your Mother. That's tomorrow, only CBS.
Go back to the injury to Jonathan Joseph. Donald Jones goes up high to make this catch, but the right hand is kind of trapped underneath the 2 bodies there. And he's still getting looked at on the sidelines.
Brad Smith is in at quarterback right now for Buffalo. They'll run the Wildcat with Smith working from the gun. And Smith has nowhere to go. Combination of Earl Mitchell making that play for Houston.
I think the Wildcat has lost a lot of its creativity. That type of play when everybody's expecting a run up the middle kind of reminds me of what we've seen with Tim Tebow and the Jets as of late when he gets to be in the game as a Wildcat tailback.
Right. Look, obviously it's easy to question it after the play, but Buffalo had something going. Did they need to go and get a little cute on 2nd and 6? Instead now it's a 3rd and 6, and Fitzpatrick back in there working from the gun. Fitzpatrick fires. In stride, he hits Scott Chandler. And Chandler's got a first down for Buffalo after an 8-yard pickup. Strong throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick working against the safety, Glover Quinn.
Well, Fitzpatrick now has hit his last 9 in a row. He completed 77% of his passes last week, the last game out against Tennessee. Finds the big target in Scott Chandler. So far today, he's at 83%. Hot hand for number 14.
1st and 10 for Buffalo, just outside the 10-yard line. They trail Houston 7-0. 2:20 to go. Fitzpatrick on a delayed give for Jackson, tried to accelerate and runs into a crowd of Houston defenders. Glover Quinn among those there. Ryan Fitzpatrick will always have fond memories of playing here in Houston. As a rookie, St. Louis taking on the Texans. He entered the game as Jamie Martin went down, overcame a 21-point halftime deficit, went 19 of 30, 310 yards, 3 touchdowns, including the game winner to Kevin Curtis in overtime. Fitzpatrick acknowledged to us that he didn't know what he was doing, but it worked.
Absolutely.
Hit the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Houston 7, Buffalo nothing. 2nd and 8 for the Bills at the Houston 10-yard line. Operating out of the gun, Fitzpatrick. Movement. And this play never gets going. Andy Levitre on the left side.
Ball start. Off. Number 67. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Well, they've had to mix and match on this offensive line because of injuries to Cordy Glenn and Craig Urbick. Now Eric Piers is down. They protected Fitzpatrick well this season.
He's been sacked 1 time today. That makes just 9 all season. So I know he's happy about the way they've been able to mix and match up front.
And their run blocking has been strong as well with a combination of Jackson and Spiller this season. 2nd and 13 after the penalty. Here comes the rush. Fitzpatrick gets rid of it. Bang, bang play as Jackson brings it in. And it's a 4.5-yard gain through the air. Quentin Demps with the hit on Jackson and a timeout called. The Texans will have 2 remaining as they stop the clock with 1:48 to play in this second quarter. Coming up, Verizon halftime report. We'll head back to New York. JB and the gang, NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Verizon halftime report.
And the one thing that offensive line has done a great job of is keeping J.J. Watt from being a factor. Remember, the first pass of the game was deflected by Sean Cody. But since that point, no deflected passes by the Texans. 1 sack on Fitzpatrick on the last drive. How important now was that 5-yard penalty against Levitre as Jackson got back most of that. Brings up a 3rd down.
2 penalties against Buffalo, costing them 10 yards. Houston 6 penalties, 32 yards. 3rd and 9. Fitzpatrick in the pocket, throws underneath. Catch made by Jones. Jones will come up short of the first down.
Well, this will bring up a big decision for Chan Gailey. Great effort by Jones to keep his knees off the ground here. Puts his hand down and is able to scramble to within about a yard, 2 yards, maybe that first down. Question now is it's going to be a field goal try for Gailey. Too far to go. Too tempting, though, for Gailey. He's going to bring out his place kicker and hope that this time the field goal goes between the uprights and not wide right as it did just moments ago by Ryan Lindell.
Houston has 1 timeout remaining. Buffalo with the same. Ryan Lindell missed it to the right on the earlier attempt. This is a chip shot. 22-yard attempt for the veteran Ryan Lindell, now in his 13th year in the NFL. Buffalo trying to get on the board. Lindell knocks it through. A 7-3 Houston lead with 1:42 to play in this first half. Back to Houston in a moment. Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS brings you a doubleheader. First at noon Eastern, Arkansas battles South Carolina. Then Texas A&M takes on the top-ranked Alabama. Crimson Tide. It's a big SEC doubleheader right here on CBS. Alabama remains undefeated with a win over LSU last night. The come-from-behind victory. Oregon Ducks. Dan Fouts in his room with the doors locked, the phone off, doesn't want to be bothered while he watches the Ducks defeat the USC Trojans to remain unbeaten.
62-51.
Really? Was that the final?
We beat the Trojans back in 1970 when I was a sophomore. It was 10-7. Things have changed.
A little bit.
Changed.
Chip Kelly has changed some things. Ryan Lindell kicking it off. Keyshawn Martin. Ridden down out across the 25-yard line by Nigel Bradham on special teams. Matt Schaub got off to the slow start. When you look at the numbers, 7 of 11, 121 yards and a touchdown for Schaub.
And he's found his go-to receivers, Andre Johnson with that one. How about the touchdown throwback off the bootleg to Owen Daniels? But Schaub has been getting good protection as well from his offensive line. He has been sacked twice today, but really not hurried all that much.
He is 13-4 over the last 2 seasons. Schaub, low throw. Owen Daniels trying to scoop it. Incomplete. Kyle Williams put the pressure on Matt Schaub. Schaub has won 9 of his last 10 starts, going back to last season prior to the Liz Frank injury.
Schaub would like to get about 40 yards to put Shane Graham in range. Graham's longest this season, just 51 yards. His career long is just 53, so they got to get him down there as far as they possibly can.
Gary Kubiak used his timeouts wisely to give his offense a chance here at the end of the first half. Underneath, modest gain for Owen Daniels as Nick Barnett makes the play. It's a 3-yard pickup. Shane Graham, career long is 53. He did that back in 2009 against the Cleveland Browns. Graham playing for his 8th NFL team, Pro Bowler back in 2005. Daniels unable to secure it. The hit by Brian Scott, the hybrid safety linebacker who has been in this league for 10 years.
A good job by Wanstead's defense on this possession here. 3 and out for the Texans, and Buffalo should get good field position. Remember how good they are returning punts.
Let's see if McKelvin gets a chance here. He's standing at his own 22-yard line. Donnie Jones. High kick sails to the 14. McKelvin busting it to the outside. Out of bounds right around the 35, angled off by Bryce McCain on special teams. Wednesday in primetime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms showcase America's favorite game, their own unique style. It's inside the NFL, and it's Wednesday on Showtime.
Hey, you start thinking about the range for Ryan Lindell. They need about 35 to 40 yards to get him in a comfortable spot. His career long is 56. 1 for 2 today. His long this season, just 42 yards. But that 3 and out by the Buffalo defense has given the Bills offense a chance here at the end of the first half with 1 timeout.
Buffalo defense that came in ranked 31st in the NFL in overall defense. Last in the NFL in points allowed, 32.4 per game. Fitzpatrick has hit on 11 straight. And that streak ends as T.J. Graham couldn't catch it, the rookie out of NC State.
Kareem Jackson closing quickly, but that ball should have been caught by Graham. This ball thrown to the back shoulder just a slight bit by Fitzpatrick, but certainly catchable. You're going to get hit anyway. Might as well catch the ball, son.
Second and 10 now for Buffalo. Jonathan Joseph is out there for Houston defensively. Fitzpatrick fires. Low throw. And it's handled. C.J. Spiller with an excellent grab. A 12-yard pickup and a first down.
A lot of pressure that time on Fitzpatrick. He had to get rid of it in a hurry. But single coverage on Spiller. A great catch by Spiller.
Down to the 45-yard line. We're down to 26 seconds to play first half. Fitzpatrick. Perfect pass to Donald Jones, who ducks out of bounds in Houston territory at the 36-yard line. That's 19 yards on the pass and catch, and Lindell is getting ready.
How about the pass protection for Fitzpatrick? Look at that perfect pocket against a four-man rush, thrown against 7 in the secondary, and Jones smartly gets out of bounds to save that last time out.
Fitzpatrick is 14 of 17, 144 yards. Right now, they're looking at a 54-yard attempt if they don't gain another yard on this drive. 22 seconds left. Spiller in the backfield. He'll get the call here. Spiller's got room. C.J. Spiller out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Craig Urbick with a good block towards that right side. 22-yard rip for Spiller.
Well, it's a draw play, and Spiller sees it to the outside. There's that block by Urbick. And now, again, a smart decision to get out of bounds. Yardage not important here. You've got 16 seconds. With one timeout, they can afford to take a couple of shots at the end zone now.
Line of scrimmage is now the 14-yard line. Johnson goes in motion, shifting out of the backfield. Buffalo down 7-3 from the gun. Fitzpatrick in trouble and sacked. J.J. Watt with the salute. Loss of 6 on the play, just 5 seconds remaining.
10.5 sacks now for J.J. Watt. He's working against Urbick. He takes the inside route after the bull rush. Pushes him to the side. And now the Bills will have to settle for a Lindell field goal.
Against Baltimore, Watt did not have a sack the first time this season that he was held without a sack in a game. So he cracks double digits. They put 9 seconds on the clock. Chan Gailey claiming that the timeout was called right away. If it's 9 seconds, you could still run a play, a throw to the end zone. If it's 3 seconds, you got to kick the field goal. It looks like they're kicking the field goal anyway. 38-yard attempt for Lindell, trying to cut into this Houston lead. Lindell's kick knuckleballs it through, and it's 7-6 Texans. Excellent job by the Buffalo defense initially to stop Houston on offense, and then the Buffalo offense comes through and brings them down the field to put 3 points on the board.
What can you say about J.J. Watt other than he's making a strong case for being the defensive player of the year? And the key for opposing offenses is to find him. His smarts and versatility, why he leads the league in sacks, now at 10.5. And in passes defense, he's knocked down 10. He's strong, powerful. I think most importantly, he is relentless. Watch as he just uses his power. We talked to him earlier in the season about how last year he thought he was more of a finesse pass rusher. He looked at himself in the mirror and says, hey, I'm 295, 300 pounds. I've got to use my power.
In the pregame, J.J. Watt showing off his ability as a pass catcher. Remember, he was a tight end. That's what he was recruited to do at Central Michigan. This is pregame warm-ups. Yeah, it's coming at you, JJ. Yep, he's got it.
Looks like there might be a little stickum on them gloves.
You think so?
Pretty good athlete.
Kickoff, Keyshawn Martin out of bounds with 2 seconds remaining. And now he also knows the camera's on, Dan. And J.J. Watt's very familiar with the cameras now.
That's not very hygienic, though.
You don't think so?
No, I would never kiss a football.
Really? Really?
Not even in pregame warmups.
Those are clean, no?
No. You don't know where that ball's been.
Well, we know where it's been now. Two seconds left. They'll take a knee here. And that will be the final play of this first half. Houston with a 7-6 lead over the Buffalo Bills. We'll come back. The Verizon halftime report. JB and the crew. After this message, a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. In the first half, points coming at a premium. 174 total yards for Houston, but just 7 points on the shot to Daniels' long touchdown. Meanwhile, for Buffalo, Ryan Fitzpatrick looking fresh, coming off the bye. 14 of 17, 144 yards, 2 Ryan Lindell field goals. It's 7-6, Houston in front of the Bills as we start play in the third quarter. Welcome back, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Hall of Famer Dan Fouts. We talked to the Buffalo Bills yesterday, and to a man, they said, we're better than what our record says we are. Now, we know in the NFL, you are what your record is. They're 3-4. But maybe the Buffalo Bills are showing that there's still some fight left in them. And in the AFC, you're still right in the playoff picture. You got to win here at 4-4.
Well, especially the AFC East, which is so wide open this year. But the Bills, obviously, their self-scouting really helped them during the bye week because they have improved on defense. And how about Fitzpatrick, though, only missing 3 passes the entire first half. What I like about what they're doing offensively is they're giving him time to throw, and they're being creative with their offense. They just haven't been able to crack the end zone yet. But it's one of these situations where they're hanging around and making the Texans very nervous.
62 rushing yards for Houston in that first half. One of the best running teams against the team ranked dead last against the run this season. Low kick by Graham. It's whistled dead. As we get this second half started. A bit like how we started this game with a bunch of whistles.
Well, the ball was kicked poorly by Graham. I don't know if it was falling off the tee.
Ball was never put in play. Free kick.
Ball was never put in play by our official referee, Bill Vinovich. He's got to give the signal to Graham. It's okay to fire away, but obviously Graham jumped the gun perhaps.
So a redo. As we start this second half, the Houston Texans 6-1, best team in the AFC. Well, they are 3-7 coming off the bye week all time. What the past has to do with this one, there's not a whole lot to connect, except the fact that Houston is in a close game against the Buffalo Bills as Alex Carrington is there to squeeze the football, and that's where the Bills will open up. First half possessions for Buffalo. Missed a field goal as well. Maybe it would be the Bills in front at the end of this first half if Lindell was able to convert.
Yeah, they were a little rusty to start the game, as you can see with the 2 punts. Really didn't get their running attack going until their last 3 possessions. That missed field goal is negated by the blocked field goal of Carrington.
J.J. Watt, cover of Sports Illustrated, mega Watt. He does have a sack here today to give him 10.5 on the season. Mario Williams has a sack in his return to Houston after signing the free agent deal with the Bills. Fitzpatrick, drop ball. He had Scott Chandler, and he got it right on his hands, but he couldn't handle it. James with the tackle on the tight end Chandler.
Well, for J.J. Watt today, you talked about the 1 sack that he got in the second quarter, but he's been a force against the running attack as well. But watch the power as he gets through on that sack, and salutes the crowd here at Reliance Stadium.
Second and 10 for Buffalo, trailing Houston 7-6. We're just underway in the third quarter. Empty backfield for Fitzpatrick. High throw, and it's over the head of Fred Jackson, incomplete. And Fitzpatrick got dumped just as he released the football.
Guess who dumped him too? Number 99, J.J. Watt. And he puts him right on his head.
You could see it developing in the playoffs. J.J. Watt took his game to another level, and he's taken it a couple of levels higher now in his second year in the league. Only 3 incomplete passes in the first half for Fitzpatrick. He has 2 already in the first 13 seconds of this second half. Fitzpatrick, high floater. Stevie Johnson just hoping that he can make a play against Jonathan Joseph in one-on-one coverage. And it goes Houston's way. 3 and out for Buffalo.
Yeah, great job by Jonathan Joseph. Remember, he injured his wrist in the first half. But pretty good on that play as he just kept Johnson from locating the ball first and then being able to accelerate to get to it.
Sean Powell will punt. Keyshawn Martin waiting for it at the 26 of Houston. Powell, Florida State's all-time leader with a 44.2 punt average. Martin circling. Martin's got a lane. Martin into Buffalo territory and forced out of bounds as they cross the 45 by Brad Smith on special teams. 26-yard return. Houston will have terrific field position to open up this second half on offense with their quarterback Matt Schaub leading the way. Schaub in that first half, 8 of 14, 124 yards, and a touchdown. The Texans offense on the field when we return. Look at the passing numbers. Fitzpatrick, 144 yards. Schaub, the 124 in the first half, and the touchdown to Owen Daniels. And they open up 1st and 10 at the 43. Foster goes down quickly. Gain of 1. Kyle Williams there defensively for Buffalo. Foster in that first half, 7 carries for 62 yards to lead Houston.
He saw a huge hole right over the middle and went to cut to get to it, and his feet came out from under him, or he might have had a big gain right up the middle.
Andre Johnson, 3 catches, 32 yards. A pitch now for Foster. And on the stretch play, 4 yards as he's angled towards the sideline. Denoris Searcy for Buffalo. First half possessions for the Houston Texans.
Yeah, kind of up and down. Mostly down for the Texans in that first half. Just 7 points scored on the great throwback to the tight end Owen Daniels. But offense has just been inconsistent throughout the day. If you look at Foster's numbers, they're very good. Schaub's numbers are very good, but they just don't have a whole lot of points.
NFL leading 35 rushing attempts per game. They've had 12 running plays so far here this afternoon on a 3rd and 5. Schaub up top. He's got Andre Johnson. Brought down at the 5-yard line by Aaron Williams.
Just a go route by Andre Johnson. Great move to the inside. That freezes Williams. Ball is dropped perfectly into the hands of Johnson. 4 catches now for 67 yards for the Andre the Great.
And Williams down on the play for Buffalo, breaking the action.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Chrysler, imported from Detroit.
Cornerback Aaron Williams, second-year corner out of Round Rock, Texas, being helped off the field.
Yeah, what happened is Andre Johnson's being tackled by Williams. Johnson goes 230 pounds. He's going to come down right on the right leg of Williams, right about there, and they were checking out his right knee, and doesn't even have enough strength in that right leg to walk off the field. Has to be attended to by the training staff. But that's just one of those unfortunate injuries that are unavoidable at times.
So the former starter Leotis McKelvin will step in for Williams. 1st and goal for Houston. Texans trying to add to their lead. Casey in front of Foster. Give for Foster. Tried to duck underneath up the middle and picks up a yard on the play. Marcel Darius and Mario Williams collaborate to bring him down.
It was almost as if Jarris Byrd knew this play was coming. Right on the line of scrimmage, he's going to jam this one up in the backfield. and Foster's got nowhere to go but to cut back towards the middle. Good play by Jarris Byrd.
2nd and goal for Houston. Motion man is Walter. Here for Foster. Arian Foster is in. Touchdown Texans. And the streak continues for Arian Foster. 10 straight games with a touchdown for the All-Pro running back.
And his 10th rushing touchdown of the season. That leads the league. Getting in behind Wade Smith and Dwayne Brown on the left side. Again, it's the patience. Walter in there as well. He's going to get a down block here on nobody. And just a great surge from that offensive line. Chris Myers as well.
Extra point from Shane Graham. Buffalo opens the second half poorly. Houston, the exact opposite. Looking sharp on offense. A 5-play, 43-yard drive set up by the long punt return by Keyshawn Martin. Touchdown. Namaste. Three-yard touchdown run for Arian Foster. Houston in front, 14-6 as Graham kicks it off. McKelvin from the 9. McKelvin is hit at the 23-yard line. So Foster's got a touchdown, and our own Dan Fouts has himself a new toy. It's Arian Foster's Segway.
Yeah, the important thing he told me is right about here, don't panic.
Yeah, and now you're going into the wall. What's happening here?
Well, I'm getting a feel for it, and now I've got it, see?
Yeah, it all clicks.
I need a helmet, though. I was a little bit shaky there at first, but I was gone, man. I was gone, and then I felt guilty and had to turn around and come back.
Now, do you feel refreshed in your legs?
Yeah, you know, all that pounding on the concrete and everything, walking through airports, It's important to have a Segway.
And that's why Arian Foster does use the Segway. He does believe that it keeps the legs fresh. C.J. Spiller picks up 3 yards, and what has become a tradition for Arian Foster at the end of touchdowns, Namaste. Now, the military is apparently paying attention. Right here. He's all over it. Namaste. 11 carries, 71 yards, averaging 6.5 yards per carry. And Houston's got an 8-point lead on Buffalo. 2nd and 7. Jackson is now in there for the Bills. Motion man is Donald Jones. Fake the handoff. Fitzpatrick looks downfield. He throws on a crossing route. It's complete. Jones has played a big part in the passing game here today. That's 15 yards and a new set of downs for the Bills to work with.
It's a two-man route. Stevie Johnson going deep, and then Jones coming underneath in front of Joseph. And against a pretty fierce pass rush that time. Good protection for Fitzpatrick, and he threw a bullet across the middle. That's the type of play that the Bills need to keep going in this game and not get far behind.
5th catch of the day for Jones. Spiller now exiting the backfield, set up the screen. And Jackson is hit. 3-yard pickup.
Screens are such a big part of this Buffalo Bill offense. Very creative against Tennessee. I saw a screen pass called inside the 5-yard line that Fred Jackson turned into a walk-in touchdown. But Chan Gailey loves having both Jackson and Spiller in the game at the same time as they were on that last play.
Second and 7 for Buffalo. Play clock is down to 4. Fitzpatrick rifles in stride. He's got Chandler. Perfect pass from Fitzpatrick. 24 yards to the 6th-year tight end, Scott Chandler.
This ball does not get more than 7 feet off the ground by Fitzpatrick. Of course, he's throwing to a real tall receiver in the 6'7" Chandler. Perfect pass for 24 yards. And the Bills have bounced back from a horrible start to the second half when they went 3 incomplete passes and out. Now they're all the way to the 29-yard line of Houston.
We come up on 9 minutes to play in this third quarter.
There's a Wildcat again. Fred Jackson now the tailback.
He sends McIntyre in motion. It's Jackson looking for a hole. Takes it up inside and not much there. 2-yard gain for Jackson.
Like Sean Cody having trouble getting off the ground.
Cody, that left shoulder area is what he just pointed to as the medical staff came over.
Well, the Texans are not fooled at all by the Wildcat. Jackson lowered his shoulder right into the shoulder and arm of Sean Cody.
So Jared Crick will step in, rookie out of Nebraska, 4th round pick. 2nd and 8. Eight and a half to go in the third. Spiller in the backfield. Chandler comes in motion. Buffalo down by 8. Handoff, Spiller. Circles to the outside and turns on the speed. C.J. Spiller out of bounds as he veers around Brooks Reed. 6-yard pickup. Sets up third and a manageable 2 yards here for Buffalo.
He came into this season and into today's game with this type of rushing average, clearly leading the league. That time he showed great vision, didn't want to bounce it inside, saw it as all clogged up, and he knows he's got the speed to get to the corner.
3rd and 2 now. Fitzpatrick. Incomplete. Johnson, the intended receiver. Jonathan Joseph there defensively. And the field goal unit is coming on for Buffalo. It'll be a 39-yard attempt here for Ryan Lindell.
Yeah, the Texan defense allows just 27% of third down conversions. They stop another one here. And so far today for the Bills, they've only been able to convert on 2 of 8. That was a big one. They could not pick up that first down with.
Lindell missed an attempt from 37 yards away. He is knocked through 2. And this is a 39-yard attempt for Ryan Lindell. He nails it. 14-9 Houston, 7:41 to go. Third quarter here at Reliance Stadium.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And by Bose, the official home audio sponsor of the NFL.
Houston 14, Buffalo 9. Texans come in with an average margin of victory of 17.7 points per game. That's 4th in the NFL behind San Francisco, New England, and Denver. But this game much tighter than many expected. 7:41 to go in the third. Lindell kicks it off. Keyshawn Martin from the goal line for Houston. Martin is bottled up just short of the 25 by Brian Scott on special teams. Nobody knows the game like a quarterback. Don't miss Phil Simms, Rich Gannon, Steve Berline, special guest Boomer Esiason, NFL Monday QB tomorrow 6:30 Eastern only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
The last drive, the Texans had the ball. They went to their playmakers, Andre Johnson with a long catch, and then 4 straight rushes for Arian Foster.
On first down, give to Foster. Arian Foster didn't see the hole initially that he wanted, tried to wait for one, and picks up a yard. It's a knee injury for Aaron Williams. His return is questionable. They carted him off the field, so highly unlikely we're going to see Aaron Williams back for the Buffalo Bills. Leotis McKelvin stepping in for him. Terrence McGee, another veteran corner, is out with a knee injury, and they just activated Ron Brooks off the injured list. Andre Johnson, the curl across the 35 and a first down. That's an 11-yard gain. Schaub to Johnson.
Yeah, they're working against the rookie out there, Stephon Gilmore. And Andre Johnson's experience just too much for these young corners of the Bills. He just kind of gave him another one of those veteran push-offs there on that little hitch route with the catch. First down.
Every ball thrown to Johnson so far has been caught. 5 catches for 77 yards. Matt Schaub now 169 through the air. Back to the ground game, and Foster. Spin move. Foster met by Kelvin Shepard and Spencer Johnson. Flag on the play. 2 of them.
Yeah, it's going to be holding against the Texans.
Holding. Offense number 55. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Chris Myers called on the hold as we head to New York. JB and Boomer Esiason with an update.
Cincy narrowing the gap.
All right, after a Peyton Manning interception, Andy Dalton takes his team downfield, 10-yard TD pass to A.J. Green, 17-13 Broncos on top.
All right, back to our guys, Ian and Dan.
And guys, Peyton Manning is undefeated in his career against Cincinnati. That AFC North, Baltimore now a little bit vulnerable, Pittsburgh as well. Schaub slings it, incomplete. He was looking for Andre Johnson. Stephon Gilmore back there got a little piece of it for Buffalo. There were 3 defensive players in that general vicinity.
Yeah, it was a hook route by Johnson down the field, about a 15-yarder. Thrown against the zone that time, and Schaub throws it just a bit behind Johnson. That's Johnson working again against Gilmore. Brings his route to the inside. Quarterback expected him to keep it outside.
Johnson playing in his 130th career game. That's a franchise record for the Texans. 2nd and 20. Play clock down to 2. Running play, Foster. And he is buried by Darius. 2nd year out of Alabama. Strong, powerful. Number 3 pick overall in the 2011 draft. It's a 2-yard gain for Foster.
Well, what they're doing is they're really doing a good job of staying on their feet as a defensive line, keeping their shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, not getting pushed to the sideline, and not allowing Foster to use his cutback ability that he's so good at.
Well, we talked to Chan Gailey about the bye week. He said they spent a lot of time evaluating their defense, more so than the offense and special teams, hoping to implement some things that would help today and down the line. Schaub on a 3rd and 18. Underneath, catch made by Casey, and short of the first down. The Buffalo defense does its job. Casey takes it to the 41. That covers 13 yards. Houston will punt.
And you kind of feel the momentum swinging Buffalo's way as you see the 2 teams exit the field. Buffalo defense high-fiving each other, and the Texans just looking around going, what's wrong with us? Well, what's wrong is you keep making penalties. Chris Myers with a holding penalty put the Texans back in a negative situation.
7 of them costing the Texans 42 yards. Donnie Jones punting. McKelvin waiting. And rolls out of bounds.
Off the back of Jarris Byrd. Lucky for Buffalo, it went out of bounds after it touched Byrd.
At the 21, Texans try to cut Watt loose when we come back.
Number 31 is Jarris Byrd. Watch the ball come down, back up, and hit him right in the back, and then, fortunate for Buffalo, go out of bounds. Byrd had no idea that ball was coming down short. He was trying to get in position to make a block for McKelvin.
Bills trail the Texans 14-9. We've got 4.5 to go in the 3rd. Fitzpatrick drilled. T.J. Graham hit by Danielle Manning. It's a loss of 1 on the pass play.
But they're lucky that this ball wasn't fumbled by Graham because of Manning reacting so quickly to that flanker screen pass. Fortunate maybe that Fitzpatrick threw it so low that Manning couldn't get a real square shot on Graham.
Buffalo comes in number 19 in the NFL in total offense, 12th in points per game, averaging just under 24.5. Take the handoff. Fitzpatrick underneath. Set it up for C.J. Spiller. Spiller out of bounds, short of the 25-yard line. McCain and Joseph there defensively to make sure he didn't get more than the 4 yards. AFC East standings. New England 5-3. Bye week for the Patriots. They will host the Buffalo Bills next week. Miami is 4-3, and the Bills interaction at 3-4. The Jets at the bottom of the list at 3-5. Jets with their bye week. They'll head to Seattle next week. 3rd and 7 for Buffalo. Fitzpatrick from the gun. Fires over the middle. Popped up in the air. Incomplete. Fortunate it wasn't picked off. Donald Jones, the intended receiver. Normally, those kinds of plays have gone Houston's way and have turned into interceptions and sometimes touchdowns.
Well, they have 9 interceptions on the year. That's just a great job by McCain getting his left arm in there and knocking that ball up in the air.
Powell to punt it for the 4th time. 48-yard average here today. The rookie from Rome, Georgia. Keyshawn Martin. Able to make his way over to fair catch it at the 33-yard line. Help the victims of disasters like Hurricane Sandy. Text Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. CBS Cares. I live in the New York area, and there's so many people still without power and people who have just lost their homes. A terrible storm that ripped through the tri-state area on Monday night.
Yeah, there's not much that you can do. Just wait it out at this point and hope that the authorities get things back together. But I know it's tough for all of you.
Houston with a first down just across the 30-yard line. Bootleg sold perfectly. Schaub on time to Walter. He's really one of the best in the NFL at that fake and then making something positive happen off the fake. It's one thing to pull off the fake. It's the other to actually convert.
Well, watch all the action go this way. I mean, the defense has to go this way. It's just a great job of selling it. It's the entire offensive line going to the right, Schaub coming out to the left, and a 10-yard gain.
First down for Houston, a 14-9 lead. We come up on 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. On the ground, Foster is buried behind the line of scrimmage. Kyle Williams, one of those unsung players, finally getting the attention he deserves. A couple of Pro Bowl berths, and he and Foster exchanging words after the play.
Now, Foster didn't like the way that number 95 took him to the ground, but watch as he beats the block of Wade Smith. And before Chris Myers can get over there, Williams, just 6'1", 300 pounds. A lot of momentum going forward there. Big play for Buffalo on that first down.
Chris Kelsey continues to start for the injured Mark Anderson, who's out with a knee injury for Buffalo. Schaub straight back over the middle to Owen Daniels. Accelerates just short of midfield. So on 2nd and 14, they pick up 12 yards. 3rd and short now for Houston.
Daniels now has 4 catches for 62 yards. So Schaub's main weapons, Andre Johnson and Owen Daniels, coming through.
Daniels just didn't look right after that play. He remains in there and sets up on the outside. 3rd and 2. Daniels the man in motion now in the slot. Schaub on time to Johnson. Sheds a tackle. Extra yardage for Johnson. First down to Houston. 14 yards on the pass play.
Stephon Gilmore just giving way too much room, too much cushion, if you will, to Andre Johnson. Here he's about 8 yards off, and he'll backpedal to about 10 yards off. And it's just a easy pitch and catch. That's a little bit too much respect for Andre Johnson.
1st and 10 now at the Buffalo 36-yard line. We're down to 13 seconds left in the 3rd. Foster bursting through. Strong carry for Arian Foster, 8 yards in the final play of the third quarter. Houston's got a 14-9 lead. They're looking for more. The NFL on CBS. Coming up next, the NFL on CBS continues. Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers take on Eli Manning and the New York Giants. That's coming up here on CBS. Roethlisberger and Manning, impressive resumes.
Yeah, both have been to the top of the mountain twice. Both are great competitors. Almost can't wait for the fourth quarter to see which quarterback is going to prevail.
Well, fourth quarters have not been kind to the Buffalo Bills. They've been outscored 83-28 this season in the fourth. Foster, the stutter step. On a 2nd and 2, he comes up just short of the 25-yard line. Needed 2, picked up 3. It's enough for a first down, as Darius will get credit for the stop.
But Foster knew what he needed. You know, he could have bounced it to the outside. Instead, he kind of lowered his shoulder and just powered his way for the extra yard to get that first down to keep this drive going.
Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, rest of our CBS crew, producer Bob Monsbach, director Suzanne Smith. Now, time of possession, a stat that's favored Houston this season, basically even here through 3 quarters of play. Foster never got going there as he slipped a bit. Barnett among those there. Mario Williams does have a sack at his return to Houston.
But James Casey's going to get beat on this block by Nick Barnett right there. That really gives Foster no options. Great play by Nick Barnett.
Still a loss of 2. 2nd and 12 for the Texans. Best record in franchise history. They're 6-1. Casey goes in motion on 2nd and 12 for Houston. Straight back. Shaw. Soft toss to Johnson. Andre Johnson busting free. Brought down inside the 10.
Yeah, Andre Johnson outweighs Stephon Gilmore by 40 pounds. Watch the strength here as he just pulls away from the young corner. Schaub knows where his money is, right there, number 80.
And for the 40th time in his career, Johnson has eclipsed 100 yards receiving. First and goal for Houston. Early stages, fourth quarter. On a give, Arian Foster spun down behind the line of scrimmage. Nigel Bradham.
And again, it's Kyle Williams who will get the penetration, beating the block of Wade Smith right through this gap here. And again, when Foster gets the ball, he sees the back of his own lineman right in front of him. And Bradham comes over and cleans him up.
So back it up to the 11-yard line. Arian Foster held to 16 yards rushing in the second half. 2nd and goal. Shaw connecting on the outside for Graham, but short of the goal line.
Well, Graham has done a good job in just his 2nd year as the backup tight end. The Texans really don't miss Joel Dreesen all that much because of the play of Graham and the versatility of Casey.
Trying to create some breathing room here. 3rd and goal coming up for Houston.
And Schaub is going to let the play clock run down, then call timeout, as they want to talk about this key 3rd down play coming up.
Texans trying to make it a 2-score lead. Timeout Houston with 11:32 to play in the fourth. Critical 3rd down play here for the Houston Texans on both sides as Houston is looking to extend the lead. Meanwhile, if Buffalo can hold Houston to the field goal, it remains a 1-score game, an 8-point differential.
And the main options for Schaub, Andre Johnson on the outside, single covered, or Owen Daniels, who already has 5 touchdown receptions this year.
3rd and goal for the Texans, 11th play of the drive. Schaub from the gun. Schaub out of the pocket, throws on the move. Touchdown! Matt Schaub connects with Garrett Graham. The Texans build on their lead here in the fourth.
Great job of Schaub extending the play to find his backup tight end, his third outlet receiver on this play. First touchdown catch of his career. Here he is lined up here. He's going to work the back of the end zone for Schaub. Schaub looking left for Owen Daniels, who is covered, and then finds his tight end, working hard for him, mirroring the quarterback's movement out to the right. Graham keeps coming and makes the touchdown catch.
Garrett Graham on the reception. Shane Graham, no relation, on for the extra point. (21-9) Houston. What a game changer that is.
Yeah, that makes it a two-score game for the Bills. A Bills offense that has not been able to find the end zone all day long.
11:25 to play in the fourth. Matt Schaub, second touchdown pass of the day for the Houston QB.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Windows 8. FedEx. FedEx does more than shipping. FedEx, solutions that matter. And by Autotrader.com. Now compare new and used cars and find the best deal on Autotrader.com.
21-9, Houston in front. Shane Graham kicking it off. Texans are last in the NFL in kickoff return coverage. Brad Smith, the return man for Buffalo. And Smith hit from behind as he crosses the 30-yard line by Jesse Nading on special teams. Tonight on 60 Minutes, he's an MVP quarterback who still keeps his scholarship rejection letters. What makes Aaron Rodgers tick? Find out only on 60 Minutes tonight, only CBS. Houston 21, Buffalo 9, 11:16 to play in the fourth quarter. 11 plays, 68 yards, 6.5 minutes off the clock. Graham with his first NFL touchdown. Schaub a perfect 6 for 6 on the drive. Andre Johnson his second 100-yard receiving game of the season. Fitzpatrick fake the handoff to Jackson. On a dump off for Jones, and he is thrown down by Brady James, a 2-yard gain.
Well, all that action in the backfield didn't fool J.J. Watt at all. He got right into the face of Fitzpatrick, and Fitzpatrick had to unload that ball, I think, a lot sooner than he had intended to.
Now Buffalo is in a 12-point hole. Jones with 6 catches, 65 yards to lead the Bills. Rush is coming. Fitzpatrick. Batted up in the air. Jared Crick getting in the area. And you know, at some point, those kinds of plays are going to turn into turnovers in favor of Houston.
Yeah, it's a great job by Crick. He knocks it up in the air. Number 93 is Crick, left side of the screen. He saw it go up in the air, and he just can't get out under it.
23 batted balls at the line of scrimmage. Texans a +7 turnover differential. They've committed just 6 turnovers this season, tied with Pittsburgh for the fewest in the league. Play clock is down to 1. And Fitzpatrick calling a timeout. Crowd is energized here in Houston. The Texans with a 21-9 advantage on Buffalo. Chan Gailey in his third year as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Expectations were high this year for Buffalo. And in jeopardy now of dropping to 3-5 at the midway point of the season with a loss today in Houston. 3rd and 8 after the timeout. 10:32 to go in the fourth. Fitzpatrick. Incomplete. Second drop of the day for Chandler.
And that's a killer. Absolute killer. He had the yardage for the first down. Number 84, Fitzpatrick, puts the ball right on him. And just the impatience of Chandler. You can see the pressure that Fitzpatrick is under by J.J. Watt. That ball had to be caught by Chandler.
So Sean Powell back on his 5th punt of the day. Sailing kick towards the sideline. Martin won't even touch it. Excellent job by Powell. Houston's got the lead, and they've got the football, and they've got the best running back in the NFL, Arian Foster, when we return.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T. Rowe Price. Understanding the connections of a complex global economy. Invest with confidence. And by Subway Restaurants. Get your own tender, juicy Subway steak melt today.
Fourth quarter here in Houston, 21-9. The Texans in front, and this is where Houston really excels, sitting on a lead and being able to milk the clock because of their tremendous running game. Hand off, Arian Foster. Up the middle, held to a 3-yard gain, hit by Darius. Coming up, time permitting, after the game, NFL Today update presented by Farmers Insurance. JB and the rest of the gang will have the latest NFL scores and highlights. Now, there's been a little bit of criticism that Arian Foster doesn't have the gaudy rush per carry numbers, the average that other guys do, but this is part of the reason. Defense knows the running game is coming in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they're going to run the ball with Foster, and he's not going to get a whole lot. They are 6-1, about to be 7-1, so what's all the complaining about?
On a pass for Andre Johnson, so that will keep the Buffalo Bills honest. The passing game is there still, 9-yard pickup.
Yeah, Schaub was perfect on that last drive. It got him a touchdown, perfect 6 for 6. Found Andre Johnson twice for 32 yards, and then got big help from that young man who caught 2 on the drive, that one for a touchdown.
We asked Gary Kubiak about Matt Schaub and the balance with Arian Foster. Kubiak said, look, we don't need Matt Schaub to throw it 40 times a game right now, but if we do, we know that he's ready and we know that he's capable. That's been proven in previous seasons. On the ground, Foster stumbling forward across the 25, and a 4-yard pickup for Foster. Kelvin Shepard with the hit.
And Kubiak talked about Schaub throwing today probably about 25 times. Well, that's exactly how many times he's thrown today. Completing 18 of those throws.
He's just not used to losing. Last 11 games, 10 victories for Matt Schaub. Signed to a 4-year, $62 million extension after the Week 1 victory against Miami. Cemented as the starter of this Houston team at the quarterback spot. Foster. Now, this is something Buffalo talked about, getting Foster out in space, and then he will lower the boom, as he just did on Stephon Gilmore.
Been a rough afternoon for Stephon Gilmore. If he's not getting beat by Andre Johnson, he's going to get pounded right there by Arian Foster. He talked about the turnover ratio for the Texans so far this year. They've only fumbled the ball 4 times all season and only lost 1 of those 4. So time of possession in their favor, the way they take care of the ball, that's why they're about to be 7-1.
And using up as much clock as possible, down to 3 seconds on the play clock. On first down, it's Foster. And he runs directly into Kyle Williams along with Kelvin Shepard. It's a 2-yard gain. So the Houston Texans, they've made a lot of noise with their defense this season, but don't fall asleep on their offense. First in time of possession. The turnovers that you talked about, Dan. Points per game, they're second in the NFL. Scoring differential interaction, second in that category. And rushing touchdowns, tied for second. Normally, they're accustomed to a big lead, 20 or more points. 5 of their games this season, they've had a 20-plus point lead. They lead this one 21-9, 7 minutes to go. Bootleg, Schaub to Casey. First down, Houston.
Yeah, it's really a perfect marriage between their running attack and their passing attack. No team works the play action bootlegs better than Houston, because no team has a running back better than Arian Foster. They have to respect the run. Schaub throws well on the runs, got a good understanding of how to fake. The offensive line does a great job. Schaub now is in his last 9, and very little pressure from this Buffalo defense.
James Casey, now in his 4th year, putting up the best numbers of his career. Schaub is inching closer to 300 yards passing. Foster is closing in on 100 yards rushing. And he's going to get it here. Arian Foster breaks off a long run down the sideline. Dwayne Brown and Garrett Graham with key blocks on that left side to spring Foster for 19.
Yeah, Dwayne Brown gets a key block on Nigel Bradham. Watch this block here. And then Casey comes over, number 86, goes up inside, and there's just nobody to contain Arian Foster.
20th career 100-yard rushing game for Arian Foster. 23 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown. Justin Forsett now in for him. Forsett will get an opportunity. And he's hit at the line of scrimmage, gains a yard for Houston, down to 5:27 and counting left in this 4th quarter.
And one of the things we talked about in our setup of this game on was what the Bills had to do: sustain their drives, convert on 3rd downs. Well, they only 2 of 10 converting 3rd down, so that just killed them. But the Texans are excellent with their 3rd down defense. That's been a big problem for Ryan Fitzpatrick.
And for Mario Williams, 1 sack, but this is not the way that he envisioned the return. Wanted to come in here with one of the best defenses in the NFL when he signed with the Buffalo Bills. It just has not turned out that way for Mario Williams and the Bills. Timeout called, 4:51 mark of the 4th. Marcel Darius was shaken up on that previous play. Spencer Johnson is now in for him. Houston has 1 timeout remaining. Mario Williams, we asked him about the exit. He said, I definitely have a strong bond with those Texan teammates. That will never go away. In fact, he said that Antonio Smith is one of his best friends.
And, you know, football is a game, but the National Football League is a business. You can never lose sight of that. And he was just hung up in a business decision. Turned out well for him financially. But, you know, in his heart that being the first Texan ever picked, he'll always be a Texan in his heart.
Well, Gary Kubiak, we asked him about Mario Williams and nothing but praise. He said a lot of respect for him. He's a close friend. He knew he would play his tail off here. Mario Williams, when we asked him about Kubiak, he said he was great to me on the field, off the field. He's not the reason why I'm not in Houston anymore. Forsett with a spin move. Why isn't he in Houston? Well, the numbers, just financially. For Houston to continue to build this team, they didn't feel it was prudent to give all that money to Mario Williams. The $50 million guaranteed. Rick Smith, Executive VP of Football Operations, and the GM of this team, the owner, Mr. McNair. They've made all the right moves. You look at this roster, they are set up not just this year, but into the future.
Well, Connor Barwin had a great year last year. Brooks Reed did a good job. Of course, with the talk about great jobs, how about J.J. Watt? And they drafted Whitney Merciless. We haven't even called his name yet, but he's a dynamic young linebacker that will bode well for the Texans in the future. Plus, he's got a great name. Merciless.
Had his first career sack in Houston's last game, the victory over Baltimore. So timeout called, 4:42 mark of this 4th quarter. Wade Phillips and Gary Kubiak, that's been a tremendous pairing. When Wade was let go by Dallas, Gary Kubiak and the Texans made Wade an offer, and he's just one of the best defensive coordinators you're going to find.
Players love playing for Wade Phillips, up and down the National Football League. You ask anybody that's played for him, they will say exactly that.
3rd and 5. Foster is spun down just inside the 30-yard line for no gain on the play. Brian Scott in on that stop for Buffalo. So the Bills use their final timeout at the 4:38 mark of the 4th quarter. Look at the upcoming schedule for Houston. Had some challenges in the second half, including that game at Chicago. You know, the Bears have just quietly gone about their business. Maybe they're not mentioned amongst the NFL elite,
their defense is scoring more points than some offenses in the National Football League.
They've got Detroit on the schedule. They've got New England on the schedule. Indianapolis, Minnesota. It's the Colts twice, in fact, with Andrew Luck providing one of the bigger surprises in the NFL.
That's really weird to me that you would play the same team twice like that
in the last 3 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Actually, it's 2 weeks. You're 14 days apart.
Well, that's good math by you, Danielle.
Thank you. That would be 2 weeks, partner.
Yeah. I want to mention also regarding the Buffalo Bills, their longtime senior VP of Public Relations, Scott Berchtold, under the weather, didn't make the trip. Just the third game that he's missed in his long career with the Bills, and hope that he's feeling better, and we'll see him next week when Buffalo goes to New England.
Hang in there, Scott.
4th and 6, you're going to go for it instead of trying a 48-yard field goal. Schaub dials up the long ball. Johnson can't haul it in. Incomplete in a matchup with Gilmore.
Well, let's give Gilmore a lot of credit for staying with Andre Johnson on this play. Johnson was trying to get him away with the push. Looked like Gilmore may have been hanging on to the back of the jersey of Johnson. Ball thrown just a little bit too far by Matt Schaub. But a good job by the rookie staying with the All-Pro.
So Buffalo takes over. They elect not to try a 48-yard field goal, and the Buffalo Bills still within striking distance. 4:31 to play. This is a 12-point game.
And a field goal would have made it 15. There's more good math for you, but the Buffalo Bills have got to make every play count here, get down the field in a hurry. They have no timeouts to work with.
That Oregon education, just off the charts.
6 good years, man.
Fitzpatrick almost intercepted. Quentin Demp's got his hands on it. Stevie Johnson, the intended receiver for Buffalo. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, Jonathan Joseph knows that Fitzpatrick's going to be trying to get the ball to Stevie Johnson. Demp's comes over, really sells out to try to pick off this ball, but really banged legs with Joseph. Joseph coming off the field after that collision. And Demp's did too.
Second and 10. Fitzpatrick underneath, complete to Jackson for 4 yards. They'll give him 5 on the spot to the 35-yard line. We'll call it 3rd and 5 as we come up on 4 minutes to go. Buffalo has no timeouts left.
And they're going back and huddling and taking time off the clock. I mean, don't you have a hurry-up offense? You got to run it right now. This is what you got to do, trailing by what they're trailing by.
And you're allowing the crowd to recharge its battery as well.
Yep.
And ramp up the noise. 3rd and 5, Fitzpatrick. Incomplete. Rouvel Martin, the intended target. It's 4th down. You have to go for it with 3:41 to play. Allen Ball in coverage for Houston.
Fitzpatrick may not be in a hurry because every time he's throwing the ball, he's getting plastered. He got nailed that time just after he threw that pass. J.J. Watt coming right up the middle, and down goes Fitzpatrick.
And down goes Buffalo if they can't convert here. 4th and 5, 3:41 to play. They trail 21-9 with no timeouts remaining. From the gun, Fitzpatrick. He's got Chandler. First down as he angles out of bounds just across the 50-yard line. To New York, NFL Today update. JB.
Peyton Manning and a familiar face.
In this second half, he threw 2 interceptions. The first 2 second-half interceptions right there, touchdown Eric Decker. They go up 31-20. This came after Champ Bailey picked off Andy Dalton.
Dan Fouts knows why it's important to have a familiar face out there. Ian and Dan.
And know about throwing interceptions too, JB. Thanks a lot.
I thought that was a much nicer transition than JB had. You could have gone that way. Fitzpatrick, incomplete. Donald Jones, the receiver that Fitzpatrick was trying to hit along the sideline. Bryce McCain defensively for Houston. No rest for the weary. JB and Boomer. More from New York.
And it's all good. Ian Flacco to a familiar face.
The Browns are giving the Ravens all they can handle. Watch this. Former University of Maryland standout wide receiver Torrey Smith takes it in. 2-point conversion is good. Ravens take a 22-15 lead over the Browns.
Capping a 9-play, 81-yard drive. Ian and Dan.
And Boomer gets his Maryland Terps pop in as well. 2nd and 10. Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick working his way to the sideline for an 11-yard scamper for the quarterback.
Great effort by Fitzpatrick. I mean, watch as he steps up in the pocket. He's going to fake the little shovel pass there to Spiller and then runs away from the defender there, putting Tim Dobbins on the turf and getting out of bounds.
Line of scrimmage is now the 38-yard line. We've got 3:21 to go in the fourth. Houston 21, Buffalo 9. Bills have dropped 3 of their last 4 games. Fitzpatrick looking to run again. This time he's hit, and the ball pops loose. Turnover, Buffalo. Whitney merciless. And the recovery by Depps.
That's 11 forced fumbles on the season, 5 that the Texans have recovered. And you finally get to call Whitney Merciless's name, number 59. Watch as he's going to come from behind here, make the tackle. The ball pops loose right to the arms of Quentin Demps. Fitzpatrick holding the ball out with his left arm, never felt Merciless coming. And out she goes.
Buffalo now -7 turnover differential this season. And Houston is at +8. Forsett is in. 1st and 10 with just over 3 minutes to go. Forsett, spin move. Wilson slows him down, and then he is finished off by Mario Williams and company, a loss of 1. So Whitney Merciless, the number 26 overall pick out of Illinois. They have brought him along slowly, using him in certain situations, and that particular moment is one to put on the highlight reel for Wade Phillips and Merciless.
Yeah, got his first sack, as you talked about, against Baltimore 2 weeks ago, and now comes up with a forced fumble.
Steelers and Giants coming up. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms will have the coverage for you. The NFL on CBS. Here's Forsett. Out across the 35-yard line, 6-yard gain, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. Buffalo cannot stop the clock. Houston will face a 3rd and 5. Putting the finishing touches on what will be their 7th win of the season with just 1 loss. 2 minutes to play. Houston 21, Buffalo 9. We'll come back with the finish after this. 2 minutes to go, 21-9, Houston leading Buffalo, and the Texans are a 1st down away from putting this one in the books at home. 3rd and 5 for Houston. Forsett behind the line of scrimmage. Mario Williams gets to make a play before he exits to the sideline. It's a loss of 4.
Well, number 94 working against Dwayne Brown this time. It's one the versatility of Mario Williams is really going to pay off for the Bills. Once that wrist gets even more healthy, he can play both sides of the defensive end spot. That time over on the right side, where he used to play a lot with the Texans.
Now Houston's going to let this clock run down, and Matt Schaub's going to use the timeout just as the play clock hits 1.
3rd and final timeout.
Texans are out of timeouts. We've got 1:15 to play in the 4th. Don't forget, coming up, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Giants. Second half of our NFL on CBS doubleheader from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey.
Pittsburgh's not going to wear those uniforms again, are they? The Bumblebees?
I don't believe that's happening again. That was a one-shot deal.
Yeah, they got throwbacks and then they got throwaways. And
That's the latter, you think?
I think so.
All right. Dan Fouts has spoken, his fashion segment for the week.
I did kind of like the socks, though. I mean, the stripes all the way down.
It's not a bad look.
Yeah, it's like a where's Waldo look?
Where is Waldo?
He's left the building.
1:15 to play now. And Donnie Jones doesn't want to give McKelvin an opportunity here, but he's going to get one. Nowhere to go. Great coverage down the field, led by Alan Ball for Houston. 43-yard punt, no return, much to the delight of Nacho Libre.
It's not Captain Insano? You see the people sitting behind the guy, they got tired of that hat. They left.
They can't see over the hat.
A lot of good hats here.
It's a good hat town. 1:06 left. Buffalo takes over at the 22. They trail by 12. Fitzpatrick steps up. Dumps it off to Spiller, who's looking to get to the sideline. And Spiller limping just a bit after the 6-yard pickup. Connor Barwin with a hit on Ryan Fitzpatrick as he got rid of the football. 58 seconds to play in the fourth. Well, we know where her vote is going. I believe that's a write-in candidate.
He'd be a good Secretary of Defense.
Not bad. I think he could do whatever he wants right now, at least here in Houston. 2nd and 4. Fitzpatrick over the middle to Graham. And TJ Graham fighting for extra yardage. Brought down. And it is enough for a first down. 5-yard pickup. Down to 42 seconds left. Buffalo has no timeouts remaining. Fitzpatrick underneath to Spiller. And he zigzags his way towards the sideline with 25 seconds to play. A 13-yard catch and run for C.J. Spiller. AFC South standings, the Houston Texans now 7-1. Best record in the AFC. They are looking for home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs.
Well, they're undefeated in the AFC, which is the most important thing. And what a home field advantage they have here. With the noise in this retractable roof stadium. Roof always seems to be closed, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Keeps the noise in.
First down for Buffalo. Flag is down as Cordy Glenn jumped.
Ball start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still first down. There's no 10-second runoff. The clock is not running. First down.
Roof is closed once again. There was some inclement weather in the area. Skies are now bluer. Rain this morning. Beautiful stadium. One of the top venues in the NFL. Fans have been into it from the moment this game started. 1st and 15, Fitzpatrick in trouble. And hit again. Merciless. And that's going to do it. The Houston Texans hit the midway point at 7-1. Best record in franchise history. Houston over Buffalo, 21-9, the final. Coming up, game 2 of our doubleheader. The Steelers take on the Giants. For Dan Fouts, our entire crew, this is Ian Eagle. So long from Houston. The NFL on CBS.